Happy Owls! It is the 1st of April, so it's a Wednesday, and I am going to start this on a real high note. I've had 3 parcels delivered today and I am just completely baffled. I don't even know where to begin with this. Let's go for the Amazon parcels. Now this is next day delivery. I know that Amazon are doing like premium instead of next day. So sort of like, I think if you pay premium it's like a priority. Okay, that's not a note. Okay, have a note. Okay, so this is from Siobhan. I just had to get you this because it is my favourite book of this year so far. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Thank you so much, Siobhan. You really didn't have to. I am ecstatic that you thought so much into who you've chosen and what you've chosen. I have seen a couple that you've gifted other people and you're just incredibly thoughtful. Oh, The Silent Patient. This is something that I had seen that G at Book Roast had read, and I popped it on my wish list just on the off chance because I don't normally do reading psychological thrillers, but I absolutely love watching them, and this sounded almost like a little bit more thrillerish than psychological, but yeah. So the woman basically, she shoots her husband 5 times, or somebody finds her husband has been shot 5 times, and he's dead, and she is there and only she knows what happens, but she just completely becomes mute. She won't speak. I'm not sure whether it's she won't speak or she cannot speak. I don't know whether it's the trauma of everything has literally caused her to just become mute. I'm really looking forward to this. I would really like to think that I'd be able to fit this into my Owls read, but I'm not sure. I think fitting it into April's TBR might be a little bit ambitious, but yeah. So thank you so much, Siobhan. I truly appreciate it. I'll be messaging you a little bit later. And then we're gonna go for this one. Oh god, I haven't done well with that at all. There doesn't appear to be a note of this. There is no note, but this is the Kingdom of Copper, and I have yet to read City of Brass, but I know that Kingdom of Copper is the sequel, so the second book, and then there is also Empire of Gold coming out soon, I believe, which will be the 3rd, and I think it's a trilogy. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything else after the Empire of Gold, so I think it's a trilogy, but this is one chunky book. It is, oh wow. It's over 600 pages. I'm just trying to see whether I can, I've seen acknowledgements. I don't obviously want to, we've got the epilogue. Okay, so up to the epilogue we have 609 pages, so that is very chunky. I don't know a huge amount of the Kingdom of Copper because obviously it's a sequel, but I am definitely looking forward to hopefully doing the entire trilogy. So so we will see. Yeah, no, again, so I'm not 100% sure. I will have to put the feelers out there. Now I've got this one and the tape is slightly... Aha! So we have... I won these last month at an auction on eBay, and it was £5.50 altogether for both books, but it is the Well of Ascensions and Hero of Ages, and that is book 2 and book 3 of the Mistborn trilogy, so that completes my trilogy. They are pre-owned, but they, other than a few bends here and there, they're actually not in that bad condition. There is a slight musty smell to them, but I'm sure that will go over time. And I have said that should I enjoy them at any further point, then maybe I might just invest in buying them new. But we will see how I get on. But yeah, so I'm really pleased with that. That is a nice little bit of book mail. It's all fun. I'm going to pop Siobhan's note in the front of Silent Patient because I like doing that. I like having the notes so that I know where it's come from, and it's just a nice little reminder that there are people out there who are very kind and generous. So yeah, so I'm definitely ecstatic with book mail. I love getting book mail, but especially with things like this when it's a little bit different, but it's also just so thoughtful. So yeah, again, thank you, Siobhan. So I haven't started any of my O.W.L reads yet because I am still making my way through the audiobook of Assassin's Apprentice. However, me and Claire have decided, I think, that today we are going to start Heart So Fierce and Broken. I am so excited. I can't even like express how much I need to continue this book. I definitely have an idea in my head of what is going to happen, or what I would like to happen, more to the point. But who knows? I thought that I would, you know, get into the spirit of things, and I've got my Harry Potter jumper on. I have my Geek Gear Ravenclaw socks on. So I am feeling very Harry Potter-ish. I'd really like to sit and watch one of the films, but I don't think that's going to happen today because we are already on 10 to 3. Maybe it might. Maybe. We will see. But yes, so I will try and check in with you later, depending on how my reading goes. It's now Thursday and it is the second day of the O.W.L, to which I should technically be reading some more of the books on my O.W.L TBR. However, I am still listening to Assassin's Apprentice. I think I've only got like an hour left on the audiobook, but I'm on chapter 23. Really enjoying it. So I definitely want to carry on with it. Hopefully Royal Assassin will be available on Scribd again, because they just keep taking stuff off, and I don't know why, because they're taking stuff off and then they're putting it back on like a couple of weeks later. So I'm not 100% sure what's happening with that. However, I did make a start on A Heart So Fierce and Broken. I read the first chapter, so it's not even 15 pages, and I am really looking forward to reading this. I was just so tired yesterday that I got to one chapter and then I was like, no. But yes, I don't think I have any updates at the moment. I managed to take some photos for Instagram changed up my theme a little bit. Because it being spring, I had a new prop I wanted to use, so I wanted to find different ways, and also I wanted to try a different like filter thing for it, because I was getting a little bit fed up of the same old white background, but I do still like quite the fresh look. I don't want to go too dark yet because I have plans for autumn, and obviously that's a lot later on down the line. However, we are already in the 4th month of the year and it feels like it's gone super quick. But I have had book mail today, and I did actually open it because the box that it came in looked like it was going to be some sort of mug or something, like a large mug in a lot of packaging. Yeah, it was really strange. The box was really like square and everything. However, it had 3 books in, and these are courtesy of Claire. So to that I have the Sword of Destiny, which is not the introduction to The Witcher, but the second one after that, but not the first in the actual Witcher series, if that makes sense. So this is technically 0.75, whereas The Last Wish that I'm reading for the Owls this month is 0.5. So these are the 2 based before the actual series starts. Then I have Soul of the Sword, and I actually have Shadow of the Fox, which I need to get reading because I also need to quickly try and work my way through them, because I have an e-arc of the 3rd book, and that comes out, I think it's the 13th of this month. So I know I'm not going to get to it before the actual book comes out, but I'd really like to be able to give it a proper review, and just, it's giving me the nudge that I need to read the trilogy, because I like shapeshifters. This actually, this is a shapeshifting book. But I can't go messing with my Owls TBR. I will see how I can fit things in. I know that I tried to have a look on my Owls TBR to see if there was any books that I could have as audio books, and I'm a bit dubious about having Crescent City or Aurora Rising as the audio books that I have in the background, purely because they are buddy reads, and I also wanted to tab both books, so I don't really want to have those as audio books. And then the other books aren't really available apart from The Last Wish and Royal Assassins, so I could have those as my audio books to space over maybe 2 weeks, like a week each. But then I am considering even just having something completely off the TBR as an audiobook in the background. So I might try Shadow of the Fox. Then my 3rd one was a complete and utter surprise, because when I put hardcovers on my Amazon wish, I don't expect, well, when I put any books on my Amazon wish list, I don't expect people to buy them. It's really, really lovely, and I truly, truly do appreciate it when they do, but I don't expect it, and I especially do not expect people to buy hardcovers because they are a lot more expensive. Now, 9 times out of 10 I won't buy a hardcover unless I am really, really anticipating reading that book, because for whatever reason they bring them out in a hardcover and then it is a ridiculously long wait for the paperback to come out. So for example, King of Scars came out this year in paperback, but I think that the hardcover came out towards the end of last year, but there is just such a long wait. And especially with I know that I wanted to get the Court of Miracles. Me and Kirsty were talking about it the other day, and it's something like £11.50 for the hardcover. However, to wait for the paperback would be January 2021. And it is a ridiculously long time to wait, and I'm not 100% sure why it's such a long time to wait between the hardcover and the paperback. But yeah, so I definitely don't expect people to buy hardcovers. However, Claire has gone and bought me Dark and Deepest Red. Now, this is a retelling of the Red Shoes, and I remember watching the Red Shoes with my mum. And my mum loves dancing, my mum loves musicals and classical like films, like the old style films. The entire story of the Red Shoes, it really makes me feel warm and cosy, because I think of sitting on a Sunday afternoon and watching the film with my mum. And yeah, I have watched it a couple of times since on my own. It doesn't always feel the same, but it's always that nice little thing of the comfort. So I am really, really looking forward to reading this, because I really want to get that warm, cosy feeling again, especially seeing as I'm not able to see my mum at the moment. Even though she lives quite away and we don't see each other every day, we are still able to FaceTime the way that we would normally. But I think it's just having that option. Like, my brother and sister would very much sort of just say, okay, well, I've got a week off work, can I come down so I can spend some time with you? Especially with, like, my partner had booked a week off, and he'd originally said, like, you know, if you want to pop and see mum for a couple of days, I can take you down there. And I think it's the fact that the choice has been taken away from us now. Obviously, for good reasons. I'm all for staying at home if it keeps everybody safe. But yeah, I think it is that thing of, I don't have the option to just pop and see them. So yeah, I definitely want that warm, cosy feeling that I would have gotten from watching the Red Shoes with my mum. So I'm really hoping that this does it justice. I have already heard so many good things about it, and yeah, I can't wait. There's also this cover is absolutely stunning, because there's so much attention to detail. We've got all the really glossy bits with the dancers and the thorns, and then the writing is actually like, it's like all speckly, but it's raised. And then at the back, the moon is also really glossy and slightly raised. And then you take the dust jacket off. It's a lovely red with, I don't know if you can see it, but I think it's a dancer on like some vines. But then the writing on the side is like a pale pink, and it's absolutely beautiful. It is just stunning. So yeah, so I'm really, really pleased with that. As I said, I don't ever expect any books to be bought for me. I do really, really appreciate it. So thank you, Claire. You really do too much, and you spoil me too much. So yeah, that is my update. Oh no, wait, I finished a manga comic. I don't want to say it's a comic, maybe a graphic novel. I'm gonna go with manga. I think it's a bit of a comedy manga. It is My Dad's Secret Ambition. I got it through NetGalley, and I put my review up today, and it was a weird one, but it was fun, light-hearted, and just overall quite a quirky story to read. I was quite surprised by the topic. I don't know whether at a certain point manga was a taboo subject, or whether it was sort of an underground thing, or just seen in general in different cultures as not an actual career, but I feel like he was, like, the dad was going really over the top trying to hide the fact that he was a manga artist, like, full stop, never mind having the extra added secrets. So yeah, without saying too much, I do think that I would like to read the rest of it, because it's really got me. It was really cute, like a single dad, like the love that he has for his daughter, and the fact that he's realising that it's so difficult to try and almost be the mom as well and try and take on that role of two parents. Like, I think he's really finding it difficult, but he's not realising that all his little girl wants is for him to be happy, when he's spending all of his time stressing about making her happy. It's just a really cute relationship. I'm all for it, and I probably would read the second tome. I know that the first tome came out in 2015, so this isn't a new book. I think there's 5 or 6 tomes of this. But yeah, I just found it really cute and really fun. And like I said, although at times I was a little bit like, this is getting a bit over the top, I think there are underlying reasons for it, so I'm going to do a bit of my own research on that. But yeah, so I've got a few more books to review through NetGalley, some ebooks, mainly comics and graphic novels, because I find ebooks in general quite difficult to read. But like I said, I have got the 3rd book from the Shadow Fox trilogy to get on with at some point, so I would probably like to do that. Oh, I also got Deep Light. I was approved for Deep Light for the ebook, which I definitely think is a good thing, because I think requesting some of the ebooks that you think you want to read but you're not 100% sure about them is a really good way to get an idea of whether you would pick it up properly. As I said, reading My Dad's Ambition, I probably will see whether I can pick up the 2nd tome, just because I'd really like to see where the story goes. I definitely would like to read Shadow of the Fox, the trilogy itself, and if I enjoy it, then obviously I will then go on to buying the actual physical copy of the 3rd book. But yeah, so that is my update for now. I can't really see there being much more of an update, because it is already like 5 o'clock in the evening. The day has gone so quickly, I'm not even 100% sure how it's gone that quickly. I'm pleased that it is nearly Friday, because that means that this is another week over of this confusing time. So yes, I am not really doing my owls at the moment, which I should be, but I would definitely, I'm considering getting this on Audible, because I really enjoyed listening to Curse the Dark and Lonely, and then I can just sort of like bookmark where I need to get to for each day. However, I did sort of want to start another book alongside it, so that's either going to be The Last Wish or Muse of Nightmares. I've already got The Last Wish on Audible. I got that a couple of months ago when it was sort of reduced, I think, or it was in a buy one get one free, something like that. So yeah, so I've got a bit of choice. I have a few options. I might just continue to read this at night before I go to bed, and then listen to The Last Wish on Audible once I've finished Assassin's Apprentice on Scribd. And yeah, let's just see how I get on. Hi guys, I feel like it's a really weird day today. Like, it doesn't feel like a Friday, even though I know it is. But I have to check that it's Friday. That's what I mean, it doesn't feel like a Friday, but obviously I don't know whether that's because the days have just blurred into one now. But yeah, so my update has been left a bit late in the day, which is why it's a little bit darker in here. But I finished Assassin's Apprentice this morning. I really enjoyed it. I definitely teared up towards the end. I'm not going to say why, but if you know, you know. And I really did come to feel for Fitz, but it's not quite clicking yet. Like, I don't feel like I'm fully invested in the characters yet, which I'm thinking is going to come later on, because obviously there's a lot to progress in. There's a lot of bits and pieces that need to come together still, so I am really looking forward to continuing to Royal Assassins, just because it is going to be one of those things where it's going to be a constant build up, which I'm not used to. I'm not used to reading something that spans over a large world. The same with Brandon Sanderson. So yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see how it spans out and how I deal with it and gel with the writing and the layout. I was going to continue listening via script, however, for some reason they had Royal Assassin on script. They took it off, only to then put it back on the 13th of this month. So I'm really confused, because they've done that with a load of titles that I was going to use through April. They've taken them off to then put them back on the 13th, so I'm not 100% sure what's happening there. So it has sort of hindered me a little bit, but I've just ended up picking up other books in the process. I am now listening to The Witcher: The Last Wish. I have found it really, really easy going. I got it on Audible with the credit, I think it was a couple of months ago, or I got it through some sort of sale or something, but it's really easy going. The one thing that confused me was the fact that it is a short non-chapter, and then chapter 1, and then another short chapter, and then chapter 2. However, I do find listening to it really fun. It's really enjoyable. The narrator is fantastic, and the voice that he puts on for Geralt is incredible. Like, it feels like it's meant to be him. So yeah, it's really, really fun. So I am on page 70, which is the Voice of Reason 3. So I'm pretty sure that is chapter 3. So I've read 70 pages of that. I haven't really made any progress in Hearts of Fears and Broken. I'm on page 22, which is partway through a chapter. Actually, it's only a couple of pages before the end of chapter 2, so I'm not 100% sure why I've done that. But like I said, progress has been made, so I have finished a book. Again, because it's only the 3rd, and because I read the majority of it in March, I am going to put it in my March wrap up, which hopefully I'm going to be able to film tomorrow, maybe, depending on lighting and my mood in general. But yeah, so I feel like I'm making progress. Yesterday I just felt like it was day 2 of the Owls and I'd done nothing. But today progress has been made. I've finished a book. I have gone 70 pages in, and then I'm sort of dwindling through Hearts of Fears and Broken. But I will get through it. I will get through. It will work in my favour. So yes, the actual chapters of these, so the non-chapters in between each chapter, are probably about 10 minutes long, if that. But then the actual chapters themselves are like an hour. But it doesn't feel, I mean, I'm not listening to this at twice the speed. I'm listening to this at 1.5 because it didn't sound right at twice the speed, so I've knocked it down to 1.5, but even then it doesn't feel like the length it is. It feels like it's happened really quickly because the chapters are also split into parts. So if I am listening on and off, I just sort of wait until I've finished the part rather than waiting until I've finished the entire chapter. So yeah, so I'm really happy with the progress that I've made today. Looking, as I said, because they are like an hour long chapters and everything, looking at how much I'd actually listened to on Audible didn't seem like a lot with how much I've got left to listen to. However, it does look like a nice little chunk out of the book, which makes me feel a little bit better about the update. But yeah, so I don't have any more plans for this evening because it is 7 o'clock now, so I am going to go and get something to eat, put the kids to bed, and hopefully just have a little bit of a chill. But yeah, so that is my update, and I will check in with you at some other point. It's Saturday and I am making some really good headway on my reading. I've gone from having to finish off a book from March and literally not reading anything for my owls to pretty much being 3 books in. So basically I started listening to this on Audible and I found it really easy to pick up. I found it just a really easy, simple read. So as it is at the moment, I am on page 118 of that, so I am just about halfway through. I also then decided that because I was finding it a lot easier to listen to books because I've just been so tired when it's come to going to bed that I haven't been doing any bedtime reading, so I picked this up on Audible again and I'm on chapter 7, so I'm on page 75. That is one section which was yesterday's section, but I'm not too worried about that because I know that Claire hasn't quite caught up yet, so possibly gonna have the other section today to see whether I can pick up the pace a bit more. And then I started Surface Breaks and I am 3 chapters in. I'm finding a lot of issues with it that I'm not 100% sure about. I feel like there are a lot of similarities to the Disney Little Mermaid film, which is obviously what I was expecting because of it being a Little Mermaid retelling. However, it's very much the women should be seen and not heard. War should not be spoken about in front of women. It's none of their business. It's not even anything to do with being polite. It's the fact that it's none of their business. There's a weird comment that her father makes about if he wasn't her father, that he would probably take her for a hand in marriage, and it's all just really strange. It's all really weird. So yeah, so I've definitely made some decent headway and I will probably check in with you a bit later. Good morning, it is Sunday and I am kind of here, there and everywhere. So yesterday I think I showed you that I had started Surface Breaks. I got a little bit further into it and I just literally, I couldn't carry on. I was getting so irritated with the characters. The kind of writing style just didn't gel with me and I just wasn't enjoying it. So I sort of felt like I'd said this year that I didn't want to worry about DNFing books if they just weren't cutting it for me, if it wasn't working for me. Especially seeing as I have now so many books on my TBR list to get through, I didn't want to be spending a couple of days reading a book that I just wasn't enjoying. So I have actually made the decision to DNF Surface Breaks. That was my my ALF TBR. I can't remember 100% what it was for. I just know that the prompt was for the book needed to be set by the coast or the sea. So I am switching that up. I have A Monstrous Heart, which was very kindly approved for me on NetGalley. I also have had it pre-ordered for a while, so I will be getting that soon, but I'm going to start it on ebook, I think, for a little bit, so that doesn't affect things too much. However, I really am struggling to sleep at the moment. It's not a problem getting to sleep, but staying asleep seems to be the issue, and then once I'm awake in the middle of the night, I'm sort of wide awake. So I made the most of it last night and I started Serpent and Dove. This, I think, is for History of Magic, something to do with witches. I am adoring this so much. I must have a thing about sassy, stubborn female characters because Lou is just everything. I am pretty far in now. I am on page 209, considering I started it at like 1 o'clock this morning. But yeah, so I have made quite a decent chunk out of that. I'm just loving it. It's a really easy read, a really quick read so far, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting through the rest of it. I also am hoping that I enjoy the entire book because they have announced Blood and Honey, which is the sequel, so I'm hoping that it's going to continue to be as good as I'm finding it at the moment. I don't think I've made any more progress with The Witcher or A Heart So Fierce and Broken. I will have to check Audible for you, but as far as I'm aware, I don't think I've made that much headway, but then again I might have. So I am with A Heart So Fierce and Broken. I am on chapter 10. And with The Witcher, again, I'm not 100% sure how I'm meant to explain what I'm on with this because they've got weird chapter things happening, but I'm nearly done. I've got 3 chapters left as far as I'm aware. Overall it works out to about 5 hours, but I listen to The Witcher I've been listening to that at 1.5 I think, and then A Heart So Fierce and Broken I've been managing to listen to at 2 I think, just because the narrator seems quite different. I don't know whether it's a different pace. So I am a bit further in than I last told you, which means that you do need a bit of an update. So I am on chapter 10 for A Heart So Fierce and Broken, which puts me quite nicely at page 96. So let's update that a little bit. Page 96, sort of in the middle of this, so I'm around, I think it's actually a lot further in than I thought. Page 156 with The Witcher. So yeah, I really should start trying to update these before I go to bed. So it is Sunday afternoon, evening time, and I'm going to finish the vlog here. I know that it was sort of a short one, but as I said, like, now it will be back on track because we are officially doing the owls, officially in April. So we'll be back to doing Monday to Sunday. So I had planned to finish The Witcher today. I haven't done that because I've been concentrating on getting a bit further into A Heart So Fierce and Broken. Just because of it being a buddy read, I am a little bit behind, I think, or we're just sort of catching up now. So I am on chapter 23, which is page 194. So I'm just getting to the halfway point. A couple of chapters off the section for today, which I will probably listen to while I'm cooking tonight. I am dying to get back into Serpent and Dove because I'm just already feeling it for Lou and Reed. Like, I need to know what happens next. I need to know more. This is very exciting. I haven't read a book that's had me as gripped as this one, like to the point where I've read over 200 pages in less than 12 hours. So yeah, it's exciting for me. So that's now at the side so that I can read that before I go to sleep. These two are still going as audiobooks for me, and I think I've got 3 hours now left on The Witcher. But I've still got like 8 hours left on A Heart So Fierce and Broken. So we'll see how we get on. But yeah, I think it's been a really productive week considering how the owls started for me and the fact that I had to already finish a book. I think that I have made a quick turnaround for it, so I'm pleased with that. I don't really have anything else to update other than the fact that I am considering reorganising my bookshelves again. And I say this because it's just not working for me. The way I've got it isn't working for me. I definitely want to leave all my Harry Potter stuff on the shelf that the camera is now sitting on. But these 2 bookcases are just chaos. And I'm not 100% sure what's happened to go from having my 4 shelves moved over, but things have just gone horribly wrong, and I don't know why. I seem to have just gone a bit crazy with it all. So I'm going to see how I get on. I don't know how I want to reorganise them because it is becoming very, very clear to me that the way I've got it put into genre isn't working for me. The only ones that sort of do work for me is the middle grade shelf. So yeah, I might have a play around with that at some point and see what I can do. So I hope that you have had a good start to the owls if you're taking part. I hope you've enjoyed this week's vlog. I'm really sorry about the switch up of the videos, but obviously things are going to get back to normal now. And yeah, so if you have liked this video, don't forget to press the like and subscribe if you haven't already. I really cannot wait to continue the owls with you, and I will see you soon. Bye.